This is our structure to introduce you about the arts, culture, and social change in South Africa. It divides into two parts. The former is the apartheid period, and the latter is the post-apartheid period. Racial segregation and white supremacy had become central aspects of South Africa policy long before apartheid began. Finally, in the 1948, the Afrikaner National Party won the general election under the slogan Apartheid. After that, a series of laws came out to separate different color people, including the African, Chinese, and other Asian people, and limit their rights. This is a picture of that period site in both English and Afrikaans in Johannesburg. It limits the blank coming into the commercial area and strictly to ban the contact between the white and the other color. In this period, there are two changes in painting. And first, the landscape paintings transferred to abstract paintings, but in that time, only the white Europeans have the resource to learn arts and have their voices. A lot of black artists are neglected. However, there are still some African artists emerging. In 1976, thousands of youths took to the streets to demonstrate and have their voices heard. The day was marred with violence and culminated in deaths, with the most well-known being that of Hector Peterson. After that, the June 16th is Youth Day in South Africa. In this protest period, people used arts to express themselves, and Rodriguez, whose thoughts encouraged people but banned by government, is the most popular singer in South Africa that period. Artists in this period have some special feelings, not just the African but also the European. This self-portrait by Malin Domas, who is a white girl born in Johannesburg in 1915, expressed the awkward and embarrassed feelings to be a white girl in that South Africa in 1984. Things changed after the general election in 1994. This is the first election which allowed the participation of all adult voters. With that election, Nelson Mandela became the first black president of South Africa, who is one of the national heroes, and made South Africa become an eco-rebel country. The University of Cape Town, during the early transition to democracy in the 1990s, multiple transformation was undertaken in all aspects of university life, from curriculum to SNIDE policies, enrollment of underrepresented students in mass, and the diversification of faculty and staff. Again, this time, Rodriguez finally have a tour in South Africa.
Nowadays, we can visit the Apartheid Museum to illustrate the reality in the past. Visitors to the museum are arbitrarily classified as either white or non-white. Once classified, visitors are permitted entry to the museum only through the gate allocated to the race group. Besides that, Johannesburg contains a lot of modern and contemporary museums. Among of Museum of African Design is a multidisciplinary exhibition, event, and performance space with a core objective of advancing problem-solving ideas for Africa and beyond. Johannesburg Public Library, first established in 1899, is the center of extensive network of branch libraries and libraries culture. The demands of space to read and learn, the growth of the campus to be the one of the rapid growth of developing library building in Johannesburg. Johannesburg Art Gallery became one of the drivers of rapid development of art gallery in this area, established in the early years of 20th century with donation from mining magnates, Federal Africa Finest, collection of European Impressionists, while most of the city of Dozen private gallery increasingly highlight the work of African artists. This is the one of movement in Johannesburg as manifesto of the role of culture in social change. The focus of the Ford Foundation funding in Pumani paper was to support and to encourage generating and poverty alleviation effort within existing community-based papermaking business units through the provision of administrative and institutional capacity.
Come to the public art. Johannesburg has an active art scene and a variety of artworks in the public spaces that range from sculptures to murals to pieces. The government has also identified public art as an effective way to improve the urban experience of the city. The intention of the public art is to attract the public into spaces that they would not usually venture into in a creative way. However, the using condition of this urban furniture shows that there is still a long way to go to achieve the racial integration. For the urban spaces, it is formed a mark of the struggle against apartheid. Lots of symbolic public spaces has been built. The public life is underpinned by the culture of protest, now focused on human rights, civility, and independence. Both visible and invisible forms of activities happen on the street. Yet, in the process of post-apartheid transition, social inequality still exists in this city. The social split into separate communities that differ greatly in terms of wealth, education, race, and cultural background, thereby in many ways reveal the dream of a rainbow country. However, the shifting social and political landscape has largely informed the art of South Africa. On the other side, the huge gap existing between the black African and white African has become the barriers of racial integration within the city and leads to the degradation of economic and public security.